is here and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another Hermitcraft season Clockwork video. We are once again in Grian's perspective. Chapter 3. Episode 35. Yeah, we should get right into it. You know the drill? And, why stall you even more? Chapter 3. Grian slowly walked down the hallway. It looked fairly bare at the start before he started to notice some little new details in the walls. Had a feeling that someone was working on making them look pretty, which he didn't mind. He wondered if it was possible to hide little secrets in here that only the hermits knew about. I suppose he'd have to bring it up to someone who might be able to pull it off. Right now, though, he needed to get to safety, which he was sure was just at the end of the hall, if his friend was correct. He trusted her, though. She had saved him from being recaptured, after all. As they walked down the hall, he started to see something ahead. No, someone. They seemed to be blocking the hallway, their back turned, but he couldn't tell who it was. The figure was tall and had a strong figure, his hair hidden by a cap of some kind. "Hello?" Grian asked calmly, unease filling him as he realized the figure was blocking the way to the safe room. The man turned as the YouTuber gasped in horror, taking a step back. It was his apostle's former escort, right before they'd found and recruited Blake. What was he doing down here? "Oh, I was expecting someone else," the man said with a frown as he shrugged. "Pretty sure last time I checked you were in Mr. A's clutches?" "Yes, sir," Grian said wearily as he took another step back, noticing a side hallway to his left. "Then what brings you down here?" the man asked slowly as he took a step forward. "What do you want?" Grian demanded, trying to decide whether he should make a run for it or not. Jem was probably expecting him to show up down in the safe room. What would she do if she didn't find him down there? "What makes you think I would want something?" the man asked. "You're clearly standing in the way of where I'm trying to go," the YouTuber admitted. "Oh, that wouldn't bother," the man chuckled. "I dropped it." "What? Why?" Grian asked nervously. "To cause a little chaos, of course," the man chuckled. "And to force whoever is working on these tunnels to come down here. I thought you'd want to go after me after Impulse, especially since we finally had room to kick you out," Grian admitted. "I like having a little fun," the man said as his eyes narrowed. "Though you do make a good point. You did technically tell everyone that I was a traitor." Grian swallowed, stepping towards the side hallway as the man said that, his dark eyes growing colder as the man pulled something out of his pocket. Deirdre did not hesitate as he ran into the side hallway, trying his best to go as fast as he could as he heard the man shouting at him from behind. The hallway felt longer than it was as he heard the man gaining ground, as he heard fireworks getting launched. Just as he was struck from behind, as he screamed in pain, falling onto his hands and knees, as he forced himself to stand back up, feeling a familiar burning pain as he pressed forward. "There's no point in running, Grian. You've got nowhere to go," the man growled at him, as another firework was launched. Grian ducked just in time as it flew down the hall before exploding in marvelous red lights. "Stay away from me," Grian insisted, as he gasped in pain. Nearing the ladder, as he turned to see, the man had loaded another rocket and a crossbow, aiming it right at him. "You know what happens when you ruin other people's plans," the man said darkly, as the eyes narrowed. "Whether it's mine, Mr. A's, or others, you will get what you deserve. Please, don't do this," Grian begged, as he stepped up the ladder, knowing he had little chance for getting to the surface in time before the rocket would strike. He could feel the sticky, warm tears in his face. Tears pain. "There's nothing you can do to stop me," the man said ominously as he released the projectile. Grian scrambled up the ladder, opening the hatch into the room just as it exploded as he gasped in pain, forcing himself to climb out, even though every part of him was screaming for him to stop. "Help, please!" Grian cried as he crawled away from the hole as the man came up, the YouTuber looking up at him weakly. "Please, no one can help you, Grian," the man said bluntly, as he pulled on the fourth crossbow, aiming it at him. This time, it was loaded with a single arrow. The YouTuber whimpered as darkness surrounded his vision, hearing faint shouts from behind somewhere as he slowly lost consciousness. The pain still echoed longer than he wished it would. Did someone hear him? Was this it? Had he failed? Episode 36. Chapter 4. Grian slowly regained consciousness, dazed and confused, for a moment as he opened his eyes to stare at a wall. He could feel a towel and some blankets, warm, soft blankets. The wall wasn't too plain, but it wasn't hugely detailed either. In fact, there was a little pattern on some of the walls that drew his attention. He wasn't feeling any pain, which meant whatever had been put on the towel seemed to have helped a ton, especially if it was a strong regeneration potion. But again, he hadn't tried moving just yet, so no idea just how far he'd come, or how long he'd been out for. He debated whether or not he should try to sit up as he stared at the wall, remembering what had happened in the tunnels. Of course, the man had to know about them, since the cause had seen them too. The secret system wasn't really secret, despite the name, nor did it prove to be safe. Where was he? He knew Jem had to have been expecting him. Volta told him she'd let her know that he was coming. Was he at her place? No, that couldn't be right. He'd managed to escape through another side hallway and into someone else's house. Now, through the panic, he hadn't gotten a chance to see whose base it was. He took a deep breath, trying to push the image of the man chasing him with firework rockets out of his mind. It was one thing to escape from one danger, but another to run into someone else who'd try to use that vulnerability against him. Someone must have saved him, must have heard his cries for help, his screams of pain. Whatever it was, he was alive. His thoughts were interrupted when he heard movement from behind, as panic surged through him for a moment, as he looked over his shoulder. Relaxing, he saw Impulse, sitting in a chair not too far from him. He knew the man wasn't far from Jem and Pearl's houses, which probably meant the girls had made a start to a tunnel for him at some point. Grian finally got his strength he needed to sit up, groaning as he did so, getting his attention. "You're awake!" he said happily as Grian managed a weak smile. "How are you feeling?" "Better, I guess," the YouTuber admitted. "I'm not in pain at the moment." "That's a start," Impulse nodded. Grian could see that there was a bit of relief on the YouTuber's expression. No doubt whatever had happened must have been pretty traumatizing. "Sorry about what happened to you in there. It's not your fault," Grian said quietly. "I don't think anyone expected for him to be waiting down there." "Was he waiting for you?" Impulse asked worriedly. Grian shook his head. "No, but he chose to attack me anyway." The YouTuber crowed. "That's just not good." "What happened? How long was I out for?" Grian asked. "A few days," Impulse simply. "Oh, my poor foot." "We managed to trap the man and take him back to a holding place. He shouldn't be hurting anyone anytime soon." "Good," Grian nodded. "Also, safe from his trapped." "Oh, really? Wow," Impulse said with a surprise, looking over at him before off to a wall. "Oh, that's good you didn't go in there then." "Yeah," Grian sighed. "You might need to get someone to sort that out." "We'll get on to that," the YouTuber replied knowingly. Grian nodded again, looking down at the covers, a nice solid pattern of gold and bronze. He fingered the pattern carefully, as he noticed the parts of it sparkled from the sunlight pouring through the window. "So what's the plan now?" "What do you mean?" Impulse asked, as Grian looked up from the covers and back in his direction. "Now that they managed to get away, what's the plan to stop those men?" Grian asked. "Not sure," Impulse admitted. "It's not easy to just chase them out of the world, especially if Mr. A refuses to leave." "Then we need to do it when neither of the brothers are there," Grian suggested. "Overwhelm the men somehow, force them to retreat from this world for good." "Do you think it'd work?" Impulse asked. "I don't know, but I'm sick of tired of just sitting here doing nothing," he said. "I want to show them we're not just going to stand by and let them do this to us. Not without a fight." "I feel you. Trust me," Impulse agreed. "And so do many of us. It's just not easy when there's so many of them and so few of us." "Why do numbers have to matter?" Impulse, Grian asked. "We have many people here, powerful people, who can find ways to create contraptions that will help us against those men. We have people here who are skilled to fight, to protect and defend. We have everything we need." Impulse made a smile. "You have a point. You really do." Grian nodded. "So what are we afraid of?" Impulse shook his head. The YouTuber shook his head. "I think we need you, Grian. I think Mr. A knows, too." He sighed with a smile. You're hardly afraid of anything, and when your mind is set on something, you'll find a way to do it. Can't do it alone, Grian admitted knowingly. I know, Grian Impulse agreed. I want to get them out of here just as bad as you do. I just don't want to see people get hurt if I can help it. Grian nodded, and he pulled the covers back and put his feet on the hardwood floor. Where's one of their secret bases? We can start there. Wait, it's war now? Impulse asked in surprise. It's always been war, Impulse, Grian smiled. Or I didn't start this time. Impulse laughed as he got to his feet. I guess I should get some troops together and see what we can do. You won't be far if I need you for anything. Grian pondered warily. The tuber met his eyes, and Grian had a feeling his friend understood. Blake and I won't be far, Impulse confirmed, taking something from his pocket and putting it on the table. Here's a spare communicator, just in case. Grian nodded. Good luck. Thanks, we'll need it. The YouTuber chuckled as he went to the door and opened it, walking out of the room to leave the YouTuber by himself. Except, he knew he wasn't alone. For the moment, he could relax and rest, recover, and then get back to his feet. Don't ultimately see victory as the men ran back from the whence they came. He wanted to believe it. He had to. We're gonna end that there. I just want to add a side note that, yeah, technically this war has been going on for years. It technically started way back, decades ago. Yeah, no war for the YouTuber. It just happened to localize in Hermitcraft's place because Mystery found them and he wanted to take advantage of the plentitude of YouTubers there. Yeah. Find a good congregation of YouTubers and you're like, jackpot. Yeah. It's war. It's always been war. Probably will be war for years to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And yes, I will see you all later. Whenever that might be. Goodbye.